Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Wednesday, December 18th. And Celtics basketball is almost back. A lot of gaps between games in the past couple of weeks. But the Celtics play the Bulls tonight as you're listening to this, and then play the Bulls again on Saturday. And then we'll get back to a somewhat normal schedule leading up to Christmas and the New Year and all that good stuff. Sam, how you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty excited. It's nice to have games back as of today. I'm pretty sure they play every other day up until the end of the year. It'll go
Correct.
19th,
Yes.
21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, 29th, 31.
Mhm.
So busy stretch for us. Lots of content coming. So you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell because we're doing pods Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up the morning after each game, and other videos in between are up on the channel to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. We'll be going through the pod today. We have tons of fun stuff to talk about. Jack was at practice today, so we'll get you all caught up ahead of Thursday's game against Chicago. We'll go around the NBA, talk about the Cup, read your emails, do the rat list. We'll get up out of here. But again, subscribe to the channel.
Yes. Let's start with practice. We got a lot to go over from practice. It's the bulk of the show today because there have been no games, so that's what we're going to talk about. But starting with Mr. Joe Mazzulla, who apparently doesn't watch NBA games. This was a generational presser from Joe. For anybody looking for good Joe content, just watch this entire press conference. It was awesome. It's very funny. But Joe Mazzulla told us that he doesn't watch NBA games. Noah asked him, "What do you think of the league declining ratings?" Like he was asked about 3-point shooting as well. I'll tell that quote as well. But Noah was like, the decline in ratings. What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I add to that. I don't watch NBA games, so I'm just as much a problem as anyone else is. And follow up was why? And he said, I don't like watching the games. And then the response to that when asked for like, why don't you like it? He said, I'm around it all the time. I'd rather watch something else. So Joe Mazzulla is not saying he doesn't watch basketball. He's saying that in his free time, he doesn't just casually turn on NBA basketball. He'll watch it for scouting. He'll watch it for stuff like that. Like, I feel like this is going to get picked up as, and I mean, I wrote about it in that sense because he literally said it, but I don't think what Joe is saying is I never watch basketball. He obviously watches film, but if he is home and he is not around the team or he has a very brief window of a break, like he's not getting home at 11 p.m. at night and flipping on the West Coast games, I think is what he's saying. And even that might be a lie because after practice today, we went back upstairs to write and found a quote from Joe in the playoffs that said, let me find it here. He said, as a reply, shit, I'm gonna really have to go find this, huh? Let me see. Joe Mazzulla watch. Here we go. Hopefully this will be it. He said multiple times, I don't watch NBA games. I don't watch NBA games, right? But there was a Reddit, and on May 16th, 2024, or May 17th, 2024, quote, studying why a team wins, studying why a team loses, why a team calls a timeout, why a team doesn't call a timeout. He said, Joe Mazzulla said he and the Celtics regularly watched other NBA games. So I'm not saying that Joe is lying because I do think the principle of what he's saying is true. As in, if I'm home with my family, I'm going to chill. I'm not going to like bring work home. But this is an insane exaggeration and insane thing to say.
He's the greatest troll of all time. I think Joe Mazzulla absolutely watches NBA games. I can understand why when he's not with the team or not in his active coaching mindset, he might not watch games. I think that's part of why his love for the town became such a big storyline because it was like I like the movie, and the story behind him watching the movie was when he was reviewing his assistant coach duties, what he's supposed to do as a player development guy back in the day. He was watching that to try and turn his mind off at the end of the night. So I can kind of see where this all comes from, but I don't really know if there are any coaches that are NBA coaches that are not watching the rest of the NBA. And again, like Jack said, I don't know if that is exactly what he's saying. I do think it means, I mean, if you think about it, Joe Mazzulla often coaching during other NBA games. During the big slate nights, the Celtics will be playing on a Wednesday, so are all the other teams. He's probably not in front of the TV watching the games.
Yeah. I think the intent of what he's saying is true, but he knows what he's doing, right? Like he absolutely knows what he's doing, which is why it's fun. The other part of the Joe presser today that I thought it was fun, Kari Thompson asked him, what do you think of people complaining about the threes? And apparently Adam Silver's like looking into the threes and whatever. Like I don't know. That's what Kari said. I didn't see that part, but I don't think in a way of like stopping it, but in a way of like, yeah, we just want to analyze, the state of the game, ratings, like the style, everything, which is just kind of like a general thing. But Joe Mazzulla said it's an interesting because like people talking about it being boring. And Joe said it's an interesting perspective because in the NFL, people aren't like, I want to see less scoring. But I'm gonna make the end zone smaller. Blah, blah, blah. So like scoring in lacrosse, other sports. I guess my question to be is why in basketball is scoring an issue as opposed to other sports? Does anybody want to watch a football game and see less touchdowns? Which is just like very funny.
He is just so good. Like he's like a poet, pretty much. He never misses. Joe Mazzulla is always going to give you something fantastic. I think the crying about the threes is lame. I think the crying about the ratings is even more lame. Like, I understand why people are like, the ratings matter. If people don't want to watch the games, you guys aren't going to have jobs. Like, yes and no.
Yeah.
If people don't want to watch the games, they are going to come to us to find out what happened in the games. So, how about them apples? But, like, yeah, I guess you don't want to see a decrease in interest. But there's a lot that goes into that. I know us as a media group have talked about it, Jack, where, I think Noah's speculated some of it has to do with the illegal streaming. And that's like a really good point because it's so expensive to have cable now. Like, of course, people aren't going to just pay to watch. If the only thing they want to watch on live TV is sports, it makes a lot of sense not to pay for cable. And if you're in the actual area where your team is from, League Pass is not going to let you watch the games. So the only alternative is to illegally stream them. Perhaps use a website that rhymes with Team Weast.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think it is what it is. I think Joe Mazzulla is funny and knows what he's doing. Joe Mazzulla also did say, though, that he watches college basketball, which is just like, all right, so you watch college if you don't watch the NBA. And he named
Classic
some of the colleges
guy.
Yeah. He named some of the colleges he watches. And the reason for them is like a lot of the guys I used to coach with are people that I know. I like watching them. He name dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colleges, Sam, and I want you to try to guess them. I'm not going to give you context. I'll give you context as we go, but I want you to guess the 5 college teams that Joe Mazzulla says he watches.
He watches West Virginia.
He said 6. That was one of them because he threw that in at the end because it was West Virginia. But that is yes. So 5 others.
He probably watches Fairmount State because he probably has people there. No, okay.
Didn't name drop that one.
Division ones.
These are all D1s. Yes.
Okay.
I see.
His brother's with the Jazz now, so it's not URI. His brother was with the URI staff for a minute.
I see one SEC team. I see one. I don't know what conference they're in. I don't know the conferences. I don't even know. I think. I think they're in the SEC for basketball. I know they're in the SEC for football.
Okay. All right.
Unless I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, it's going to look real bad.
If they're in the SEC for football, they're definitely in it for basketball.
No, I'm hoping I'm not wrong. Yeah, they are. They're in the SEC for football.
Okay.
Yes.
Man, I don't know, like off the top of my head, like who he would have relationships with, but something to me is saying Vanderbilt. I don't know why.
No.
What team is it?
This is a hard one.
This is gonna be bad.
Auburn. Right? Auburn. He watches UConn and Gonzaga, which probably could have been gettable. And then he watches Florida Atlantic and Utah State. just an insane thing to name drop when you're talking about colleges. But yeah, shout out Joe. Again, if you want to go watch a press conference, this one was very funny. Al Horford also spoke to us at practice today and talked about, among other things, his sort of 3-point revolution, his progression as a 3-point shooter. The biggest thing was, for me physically, is added years to my career. It's been good for me. I think Brooke, as in Brooke Lopez, because he was asked about those two being like the pioneers of the big men, learning to shoot threes, said I think Brooke saw it as well, and it's been a great benefit. And that's what I was mentioning, that now the guys are coming in from college and they're already shooting it and they're confident. They're giving them the green light, and it's a good thing. And he mentioned specifically it was Rick Sund, the GM at the Hawks at the time. He was the one who pushed for it. And then Kenny Atkinson and Mike Budenholzer, also pushed him along that road when he was in Atlanta of shooting more threes. Said he added years to his career, said he likes it, said it's it was an interesting change and that he was open to when it happened. But obviously, it's come a long way since he started shooting threes his last year in Atlanta.
Yeah, I can see how the 3-point shooting might have helped him extend his career a little bit. Only makes sense, right? I think Horford has done a tremendous job of adapting to the game to continue and play at a high level in the NBA because he really feels almost as effective now as he was when he was in his All-Star season or seasons with the Celtics. The first time he was here, I always forget if it was one or two. I think it was only one. Um, but he was averaging like 12 to 15 points and like around 6 to 8 rebounds. And he's still doing similar in the amount of minutes that he's playing. It's just he's just being asked to shoot threes now. He's not getting post ups, and he's been reliable as a 3-point shooter. That's all the Celtics are going to ask of him. It also allows him to be more durable. Like, knock on wood, but we really don't have Horford missing games. Like, he's somebody who you can count on being there unless it's a back to back. It's very rare to see him have any kind of issue other than that left toe sprain.
Yeah, I mean Al Horford, the pesky left toe sprain. There's not enough or I can't say anything more about how good Al Horford is. Like I feel like most things with the Celtics is that they're just really good. They're just nasty. But yeah, the 3-ball Al Horford, like as soon as he came to Boston, it was clear that he could be a weapon from there. And then I don't know. It's weird to think of Al Horford now before threes, right? It's weird to think that he didn't shoot threes before because now that is Al Horford. You know what I'm saying? So, good for him. Good for the Celtics. Next thing is Jayson Tatum. Apparently didn't work out for the Lakers in the draft. This is from Magic Johnson on Sirius XM radio or something. He said,
week.
yeah, I wanted to address that and let him know that, yes, we looked at him, but his agent also didn't want us to work him out because he didn't want him to end up with the Lakers because we already were top heavy with forwards. And that's why he wouldn't work out for us. See, I was there, so I can tell Jayson what really happened. His agent didn't want him to work out for us because I knew it was he knew it wasn't a good situation. After all, we already had too many forwards. We took a look at him, but the problem was they were top heavy with forwards. Couldn't take him that year because we had Brandon Ingram, who was only his second year, Julius Randle, and Larry Nance Jr. So I already had too many guys So as funny as that sounds now, at the time, like those guys were more established rookies. I don't know. It's funny, but he didn't even work out for the Lakers. So it's interesting to see how things played out.
Man, I don't know if I believe this. It might be true. It makes sense with the positional issue, the log jam it would create. But I also am just like, I feel like Tatum would have really wanted to play for the Lakers. Like, that's all we heard about him from him. Like, he's like, yeah, Kobe was there. Like, it would have been sick to play on the same team as
Well,
Kobe had been
yes,
on. He had retired.
he said that.
Yeah.
Tatum said that. Tatum said that's what this stems from. Tatum said it was, quote, kind of devastating that the Lakers never attended one of the Stars workouts. But he said that his agent didn't want him to work it out. So it sounds like Tatum would have liked to play for the Lakers or would have liked the Lakers taking interest, but his agent knew it wasn't going to be a good situation for him to be there because he wasn't going to play. So maybe he had those conversations with Tatum, but maybe Tatum meant at the time he was devastated, and then once it was explained, like, oh, I get it, I wouldn't have played there. But I don't think it's Tatum didn't want to play for Lakers. I think it was Tatum's agent knew he wasn't going to do anything if he went to the Lakers, and then they had that conversation.
It's true. It's really tough to go into the NBA and put yourself in a situation where you're on a team with a lot of guys at your position. Like, God forbid he gets drafted to a team with, like, I don't know, Gordon Hayward and Jaylen Brown ahead of him and no opportunity there. Listen, Hayward doesn't break his leg. It might go a lot different for Tatum. But it's just kind of funny that the Lakers didn't pick Tatum or didn't work out Tatum when they had a worse group of forwards on their team. Like,
I don't think they had a worse group of forwards. Gordon Hayward.
At the time of the Tatum draft, the Celtics had not yet signed Hayward. They had Jay Crowder, and they had Jaylen.
Yes.
So they technically did not know that they were going to get Gordon Hayward, even though I think they knew that they were going to get Gordon Hayward because we all knew they were going to get Gordon Hayward.
I need to take a quick break in the action here to talk to you guys about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. If you are familiar with the channel, How About Them Celtics, you know that Sam and I use Prize Picks on the pregame show all the time. Going into Celtics games, we love picking the more on Jayson Tatum points, the more on Derek White blocks, the more on Peyton Pritchard, everything this season, and the more on opposing player turnovers. That's the fun one for us. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. And you can now win up to 1,000 extra money on Prize Picks. Let me rephrase that for you guys. 1,000 extra money on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Yeah, I think Jalen was playing more guard at the time. So I don't think he would have probably been in their minds as a forward. Yeah, he played 51% of his minutes at guard that season and 58 the season after. He did play more his rookie season, though, I suppose. But you look at that team before they got Tatum. So 20, I'll just go 17, 18, and then we can minus Hayward. It's Gordon Hayward, Gershon Yabusele, Semi Ojeleye, Marcus Morris.
That's a squad.
I'd say the Lakers probably had the better overall, at least more depth. Tatum, like at the very least, Gordon Hayward doesn't get hurt. Tatum can either start alongside him or come right off the bench. Like, obviously, we know now that Tatum is much better than any of the guys that the Lakers had. But at the time, like, they're probably going to prioritize playing Brandon Ingram. They're going to play the guy that they know are good. So I get it a little bit, but it is just interesting considering, especially how much Tatum has expressed how much of a fan he was for the Lakers growing up and all that stuff. But
Big fumble. 2 years in a row, 16, 17 drafts. Very tough for the Lakers.
Yeah, I don't think they.
Why would you draft Jalen and Jayson? Who would do that?
I don't think they're too thrilled with their decision making.
Well,
thus
they have
far.
the same amount of rings. That's what someone in the comments will say. Since the drafts, they still have won a championship. Blah 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 blah.
It's true. It's true, but none of those guys that they drafted instead of him were part of those teams. So
you know what's funny
is
I saw something on Twitter I think the other day, and it was just like, can you imagine if they traded Tatum and Brown for Anthony Davis when that was a thing?
Yeah, right. What a mess that would have been. Yikes. All right, let's go to the email here. A reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. I think we have a couple today, starting with RJ. It says, getting ready for the holidays. Morning, folks. That was the NBA Cup, a mid-Milwaukee squad taking out the Western Conference leading Thunder. Talk about Cole and your Christmas stocking. Let's look at presents for our favorite Celtics instead. To Kristaps, bionic legs so we can all enjoy his exploits without gasping every time he hits the floor, or goes to an alley-oop or walks onto the court. For Al Horford, an extra warm left sock so his big toe makes it through the winter. Let's see. Joe Mazzulla gets a pass to see a double feature of what must be his favorite holiday films, The Shining and A Clockwork Orange. Not sure which holiday he's celebrating. Pritchard is giving a gift. He's invited every 10-year-old in Boston to play him one-on-one through the rest of the season. Finally, Derek White has left out a 6-pack of his white ale and lobster rolls for Santa, or maybe Sam Hauser. I'm not sure. Anyways, back to Celtics Thursday night. Be well, RJ. Tatum and Brown don't get gifts? What is this?
I guess they already have plenty. They don't need new gifts.
The
Kristaps gift, very good gift. Exactly what you would need.
Would be nice.
Peyton Pritchard. Maybe we don't have to throw a number on the age.
Well, you fix your brain. Fix your brain. Paulo Benazzi. Hey guys, brief reaction to the grand final of the NBA Cup. Just one game, but now OKC doesn't look scary anymore, to me at least. And yes, maybe that's an overreaction. No chat, granted, but I saw the same problems SGA had last year against the Mavs. When the games get tougher, the attack is a bit clunky and the court becomes as small as a ping pong table. Welcome to JT's world until last year, Mr. Gilgeous-Alexander. If you want to win the NBA Cup, you have to hire Darvin Ham. True. Now the national narrative will turn into the great, quote unquote, Milwaukee Bucks in the East, and I love that. Happy holidays, Paolo. I don't think it's going to turn into that. I don't think it will. They are playing very well. They are playing very well, and we can jump right into the NBA standings here to talk about it. But the Bucks are playing a lot better since however many games ago. They're 8-2 in their last 10. It is very clear that they are much improved, or they have figured some things out. I mean, we can combine this with the Cup, I guess, if you want to talk about the Cup first. But they won the NBA Cup. They did it.
They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're still 6.5 games behind the Celtics. Tough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen, they definitely are figuring something out. Like, they're a win against OKC is a win against OKC. OKC is an excellent team. They didn't have a whole lot for Giannis yesterday. Could have done a little bit better job on Giannis. I know that was the real thing that did it for Milwaukee. Obviously, it's going to be Giannis, but the dominance was evident. Around the rest of the East, it's starting to take shape. We've kind of talked about it this way the last couple times we've checked in on the standings, and you're starting to feel more and more who the contenders, who was fake. You're seeing it in the last 10. Like, Cleveland has continued to be pretty decent, 7-3 in the last 10. New York 7-3. Orlando 6-4, despite not having Paolo and Franz. Again, Milwaukee, we already said it, 8-2. Miami 6-4, probably just about as you would expect them to be. Atlanta has been good this year, and then after that becomes pretty mediocre. Pistons still in that 10th spot. Big win over the Heat the other day. They continue to just play nail-biting games. Tim Hardaway Jr. has a heroic overtime where I think he scored 9 straight points on 3 straight threes. He went crazy. Shout out to our Pistons. But the bottom, Philly, 6-4 in their last 10, and Embiid's hurt again. Are they going to be able to climb out of the hole before Christmas? I don't think so. I don't think. Will they get 10 wins before Christmas? I don't think so. But Washington is clearly the worst team. They continue to just be ass. 3-21, horrendous. Toronto, Charlotte, Brooklyn. I mean, Charlotte's been spiraling too. Just bottom.
Yeah, the Hornets are really bad. They can't get healthy either. And they just are awful, even in general. The mid teams continue to be mid. The Bulls are too good for their own good at 12-15. Like, what a mess the Bulls are. Their picks
Say more.
They don't have their own pick too. It's a protected pick. So they like it
so they
is.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. No. So they want to be bad, so they keep their pick.
Right.
Let me double check who it goes to. Their pick is owed to the Spurs. Pick would defer to 2026 because Bulls pick is currently in the top 10. It's top 10 protected. So if it's not in the top 10, they lose their pick to the Spurs because it was DeMar DeRozan traded to Bulls for Thad Young, Al-Farouq Aminu a second, and this pick, which is which is protected.
Former Celtic Al-Farouq Aminu.
It's true. So if you look at the standings right now, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. So they are 10, which means if anybody behind them jumps, they would not keep their pick. Bad. Awful.
So if anyone behind them jumps, so if Chicago is worse, they lose the pick?
If Chicago's pick is not in the top 10, they don't get it.
I see. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
So if 14, 13, 12, or 11 jumps up into the top 10, Chicago falls back and would not keep their pick.
So basically the point is there's no better season for the Bulls to tank than right now.
They should be bad.
They should be bad. Correct.
And they're not.
Well, we'll get to see them twice.
Yeah.
They'll get to lose a couple games hopefully this week.
Yeah, we'll see. Would be nice. Western Conference, Thunder still up top, 20-5. They are on a roll. 9-1 in their last 10. Obviously, the NBA Cup doesn't count. They did lose that, but whatever. Grizzlies 8-9, Rockets 17-9, Mavs 17-9. Then you get into the ho hum of the middle of the East or the West, I should say. Nuggets, Suns, Wolves, Warriors, Clippers, Lakers, Spurs, Kings, all within 2 games or 2.5 games of each other, which is insane. That's going to be a hell. And then Blazers, Jazz, Pelicans is just garbage at the bottom.
The Western Conference is a fucking enigma. The problem with the Western Conference is the East. When we look at the Eastern Conference, you're starting to be able to tell who's who. You still don't know in the West. Is Denver going to get any better? Are they going to figure it out? Who knows? You have to feel like they do, but they haven't really been able to string together a great stretch so far this season. They've won 3 in a row as is. So, I mean, maybe I should shut up. But like the rest of the teams are like the same story. Phoenix, nobody can stay healthy. Minnesota, they haven't really had anybody score besides Ant. Julius Randle's averaging 20. Besides those 2 guys, nobody else is above like 12. Golden State was hot. Now they're terrible. The Clippers, no one expected to be them for them to be good. Now all of a sudden they're competitive. And the Lakers, they're one of those teams that just has a good week, a bad week, a good week, a bad week, a good week. We're going to have to wait a long time before we see some separation here. I mean, you're finally getting a little bit from the top where it's 6.5 games between the Thunder and the 10 seed Lakers.
Yeah.
In the East, it's 6.5 games between the Cavs and Knicks, who are in third.
Yes. Yeah, the Western Conference is a mess, man. The Suns have a negative point differential, but they're in 6th place. The Kings have a positive point differential, and they're in 12th. It's anything can happen in the West. Except the bottom 3 teams are ass. The Warriors are really, really, really bad. 2-8 in their last 10 is awful. That means they were what, 12-3, and now they're 14-11.
Correct. They were nasty to start. I mean, when they beat the Celtics, it was like, oh my God, watch out for the Warriors. They're back.
Yeah, finals rematch incoming, and now it's not looking like that anymore. Anyways, next thing. Do you want to talk about the Bucks in the Cup, or do you want to skip?
We can talk about it.
Sure. Bucks won the NBA Cup. I know we mentioned it in Paolo's email, but yes, they beat the Thunder in the NBA Cup. Giannis won MVP. Darvin Ham has never lost a Cup game.
Goat.
Champs. Cup champs.
I love the Darvin Ham angle of this because it's just kind of funny that everybody's in on the joke. All these major accounts just posting the graphic of Darvin Ham 14-0 in the NBA Cup. Taurean Prince also undefeated in the NBA Cup. Apparently after the game, the 2 bright minds of Doc Rivers and Darvin Ham put their combined brain power together to make the decision not to celebrate the win with champagne. Instead, Doc took Darvin Ham's advice that they should have focused on the rest of the regular season last year with the Lakers instead of celebrating the Cup. So we'll see how it goes for Milwaukee. Will Milwaukee raise a banner? I think they will. They'll raise a single banner that will get updated, which I think every team should do. Even the Celtics, if they win, they should put up a little one that has all the years on it that they win. It's a shame that it's over. I like the Cup. We'll see it next year. A lot of people are like, oh, wow, the Thunder are fake. Thunder are losers. They didn't show up in the bright lights. Did you see all like the people posting about that?
No, but I believe it. It's dumb.
That's just how it goes. Everybody watches the Cup, Jack.
So stupid.
I saw somebody say like it was like Shea when he's not playing a game on League Pass, and it was like him in a Tim Hortons outfit.
That is funny. That's good. Yeah, good for the Bucks. I mean, like we said, they're playing better basketball. There's no denying it. Giannis is probably back in the MVP conversations at this point. Like he'll probably be in the race. I would say it's definitely going to still be Jokic.
It was just like
but
the Bucks are bad, so we can't win. Like
yeah, but now he's got like somewhat of a record to back it up, and it's probably still going to be Jokic. But the Nuggets are who knows what they're going to do. Happy holidays, everybody! From here at How About Them Celtics to you, it's our time to remind you about Game Time. Game Time is the best place to get all your tickets for every event you could possibly go to, especially during the holiday season. Obviously, you know, Sam and I are at Celtics games all the time, but when we're not at Celtics games, we like to have fun. I know Sam's not the biggest Patriots fan, but I'll go to Pat's games with my family. He'll go to comedy shows with his family. So it's always a fun time. I'll share my screen here if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're not, I'll describe it for you because you don't want to miss this. Just look at the popular events in Boston right now. You've got Monday Night Raw, the day I'm recording this. So, You missed your last call on that. Make sure to use Game Time. Post Malone's coming to Gillette Stadium soon. Gracie Abrams, Tom Segura. There's everything you could possibly want. I'm going to look at Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, because we're in the holiday spirit here. You can see everywhere you need to see on Game Time. You can look at the cheapest price. You can look by view. You can see anywhere you need to see in the theater. That's my favorite part of Game Time. Anywhere you want to buy a ticket, you can click on it and it will give you the view you're going to get from your seat. And on top of that, it tells you if the deal is super, it tells you if the deal is bad, and it directs you to the tickets it thinks will be the best for you. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, all of that. All-in pricing shows you the total upfront, so there's no surprise fees at checkout. So not only can you see where exactly you're going to sit in the stadium, in the arena, in the theater you're going to go, but you also get to see exactly what you are going to pay. So make sure to use Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. And we can go to that right now because the Nuggets have been involved in trade rumors as of late. Sam Amick and Tony Jones of The Athletic put out a piece yesterday as we're recording this, stating that the Nuggets have either had preliminary trade interest or actual preliminary talks about certain players. And it said, Nuggets have expressed interest in or had preliminary trade discussions on the following players: Chicago's Zach LaVine, Washington's Jordan Poole, Utah's Jordan Clarkson, Atlanta's DeAndre Hunter, Brooklyn's Cam Johnson, and Washington's Jonas Valanciunas. Now, I think Cam Johnson, DeAndre Hunter, Jonas Valanciunas, and Jordan Clarkson, fine. All those, whatever. Like, those fine trade targets, good players, help your team. Zach LaVine and Jordan Poole are the names that people have been like, whoa, and like jumped out to them, because both those guys having really, really good seasons, been both very efficient. Jordan Poole is like one of the league's leader in steals. So he's never going to be a good defender. Neither are good defenders, but at least he's doing something. But they're both efficient. They're both putting up solid numbers. They can help the Nuggets offense, and that's what they need the most help with. The problem is, in either of those deals, you would almost 100%, you would definitely have to give up one of Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., or Aaron Gordon, which would probably mean Michael Porter Jr. I don't know if I want to do that, especially for those contracts. Jordan Poole is not nearly as bad as Zach LaVine's, but both of those are just something. Man.
So what I think this boils down to is, one, if they really, really hate the MPJ contract, which a lot of people speculated it was a bad deal when it happened. It's not like the worst deal ever, but they're paying a lot of money for a guy that's their third option, whatever. I think the real angle here is, if you're Denver, you're seriously asking yourself, well, it's been a rough start this year. Do we believe in Jamal Murray? Because Jamal Murray just signed a contract extension. I believe he's in year one. Like, they had to re-up over the summer. Jamal Murray this season is averaging 18 points, 6 assists on 42% from the field and 35% from three. To put that in perspective for you, last year he was up to a career high, tied for a career high, 21.2 points per game on 48% from the field and 42% from three. The year before, he was at 40% from three, 45% from the field for 20 points a game. He clearly is not at the same level this year. He was hurt over the summer. He didn't play in the Olympics for Team Canada. He's 27 now. It's not like he's like this young player. And listen, I don't think 27 is old. I'm not like you should panic when your player turns 27. What I'm saying is, Denver has a real decision to make with him, because if they don't believe this is the time to sell, like, you can say what you want about Marcus. That's my guy. There's really not an easy way to dispute that they sold at the perfect time. They got what they could get for him. They got a great deal back. They filled that cap slot with a better player, and the Celtics benefited from it. If you're Denver, you might have to make a tough decision. It's a little harder because he's a little bit more grandfathered in, because, one, I don't know if he's actually eligible to be traded with the new contract. Two, he's won a championship there, so that makes you a little bit more of a made man than somebody like Marcus, who made the playoffs every year but never won, never got over the hump. But I think Jamal Murray is not being talked about enough, and especially with the guys that are being thrown around position-wise. Like, Zach LaVine is not a point guard. He's still a guard. You could still, like, Phoenix Suns yourself into convincing the team that, oh yeah, it'll work. Go ahead, just put him out there. You don't need a real point guard. We'll see how it goes. Jordan Poole, kind of the same thing, a little bit more of a point guard. I don't know if I really believe in his fit with this team. I think he's a little bit too much of a dickhead to join a super serious team, but he won with the Warriors, so who am I to say? But yes, my take is Jamal Murray is the one on the hot seat. Even though Michael Porter Jr. seems like the more tradable contract, I think Jamal Murray's skill set is the least valuable of Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray, because Gordon's playing a ton of defense for you. I know he hasn't been like super duper efficient this year. Like he's been a little bit down too, but Murray's the most replaceable. I don't think the other two grow on.
I don't see them trading Jamal Murray.
I don't know if I see it either, but I just feel like that is the one that makes the most sense.
I don't disagree with that premise, but I just don't think they're going to trade Jamal Murray. Like I think they would trade Porter Jr. before that. I don't know if that's the right decision. I don't know, whatever, blah blah blah. But I definitely I don't know. It just he is too much of an integral part. He's had too many big moments. Like, and I get you want to sell before regression. He's already looking like he's, but I feel like they would trade Michael Porter Jr. first, which I don't know. I think trading for Zach LaVine or Jordan Poole probably isn't the best idea. But hey, maybe really believe in one of them. Like, do you really think trading Jamal Murray for Jordan Poole is going to solve things?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Nuggets are in a weird place. I don't hate any of those other moves for them, like Cam Johnson, sure, right? DeAndre Hunter, sure. I don't know how interested the Hawks would be in giving him up, but we'll see what happens. Nuggets are definitely a team to keep an eye on. New All-Star Game format is the next thing up. The NBA has officially changed the format for the All-Star Game this year. What it's going to be, 24 All-Star spots. That has not changed. 3 teams, and the winner of the Rising Stars game or tournament or whatever they do, excuse me, will play in it. So it'll be 3 teams of 8 plus a team of 8 Rising Stars. They will play in a tournament format, and then that's the All-Star Game format. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we heard about this a couple months ago. We talked about it on the show. It's certainly different. I don't hate it in terms of spicing things up. I'm still not going to watch the All-Star Game. Like, I really couldn't care less about the whole thing. I don't think they should not do it because the whole weekend as itself is a big event. But I don't really know how to make people excited about this. The thing I would suggest, and I think I suggested the last time we did this show, I know I did a whole article on this, was they should just do a 1v1 tournament. 24 guys do a tournament. These guys have big egos. I know there's a mismatch in size and all that stuff. I don't know how you would factor for it. But if you want these guys to go out there compete, which is what Adam Silver wants, he was so disgusted when they put up 200 points last year. I think you need to put their pride at stake a little bit. Even though these guys, like, listen, if you put them on a team in an all-star game that counts for nothing, it's very easy to not care. Like, I don't think they should care. I don't care. Why should they care? It doesn't represent anything. There's no prize for it. Like, nothing. They shouldn't care.
Sure.
But if they can say, nobody could take me, they all have egos. They wouldn't be in the NBA if they didn't have egos. Of course they would want to win that. What I will say is what is annoying is now that the thing has been made official, you have like Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, like all coming out being like, I hate this. Like, this is the worst. They should have just kept it East-West. While it was like East-West. Yeah, it was East-West. Like, nobody gave a fuck. Like, you guys didn't take it serious. So I don't really blame Adam Silver for being like, and I don't blame them for not caring, because I just said I don't care. Why? Like, who cares? It's meaningless. But like, the goal that Adam Silver has is to make this a good product. And by them not caring about it, it makes it a poor product.
But
so he has to try and find a way to make them care. This is what they're trying.
They missed the point, though.
Who missed the point? The NBA?
I think, yeah. Like, okay. And I get it. And I think this will be kind of interesting. But why should the NBA players care about this more than last year's format? Like, what differentiates this enough from just playing a game versus the other, East versus West? It's effectively just the same.
A little harder to win because you have to win 2 games instead of just 1.
Wouldn't that make them care less? They already didn't give a shit about winning last year. So making it harder, they're not going to try harder to win if they didn't care about winning in the first place.
Well, it's more impressive if you win in this format than 2 teams because you have to win.
Sure,
You have to beat 2 different teams.
but if they already didn't care about they have never cared about winning. The only year they cared about winning was when they did the Elam ending for Kobe, and that was because Kobe passed away, and that gave them a reason to care because it was respect
Well,
for
they
Kobe,
used to
right?
care back in the day. Like there's the game where like Iverson's going back and forth with the Western Conference, and like people
But
love
did
that
that
All-Star game.
sure, but that was like that was more of they loved it because this player popped off and did this. That was like I don't know. I would need to go back and watch all the All-Star games to see how much they actually gave a shit about the actual winning, not just Iverson. Like I assume like you just watched a clip of Iverson going back and forth and the crowd was like, "Oh, this is awesome." We've
Well, no,
seen
like
individual
people always be like this is when the All-Star game mattered, and it was like I
the All-Star
don't know
games
what
never
year it
mattered.
was,
The All-Star games never mattered.
or
I
like it
hate to
was
break it
more
to
fun.
those people.
Whatever.
It's never mattered. And these people are never going to care. These people, like the players, are never going to care unless there is actual stakes or actual money or actual anything that could benefit them. Because all the NBA has done, and for what it's worth, I don't care about the new format. It is what it is. It's cool. Like it'll be, I guess, kind of interesting. But these guys already didn't care about playing, so why should they care? They're going to have to play more now. I feel like that would make them care less. They like to go out there. They like to have fun. They like to relax. They like to play pickup against guys they don't usually play with or for, and that's why it's fun for them. And they're smiling. They're having a good time. They're messing around on the court. So, but they don't care about winning because to them it's just a break from the regular of the season. They don't want to have to compete in another game that doesn't mean anything. It's the same reason some of the players hate the final game of the NBA Cup because it doesn't like actually mean anything. Like
Correct.
all that's like, and they care about it because of the 500,000. And we heard Giannis talk about it. Say, oh, I talk about this two-way guy who I'm going to give my money to, or some of us are going to give money to, like to help him buy a house. And I think it was half a joke, but like at least there's reasons why they could care about this. There's literally no reason that they should care about this. The problem last year was they don't care enough about winning to try. And so doubling down on, oh, these guys will care about winning, so let's make a tournament, is basically saying, oh, I don't like whatever. I don't like, chocolate, right? Oh, let's make him a big chocolate cake. He'll love that. What's the point? You're just doubling down on the thing that you very clearly see they already don't care about. So why would they care if you just make it more about the thing they don't care about? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think that's why like the idea of a 1v1 thing works because that's different.
Yeah, but also I don't think they'd ever do it.
They should though. Like if they're willing to do what they're doing now, like what is the real?
Well, clearly they don't want to. Like
No,
as in the players.
well, the
I mean, the
players
players wouldn't do it. That's what I'm saying.
The players, I think they would do it.
I don't think they'd want to.
I don't know what the solution is then. Like, I mean, do they have to do the All-Star weekend? Like, do they really have to do it? Should they just make it more about the competitions?
Yes, I think that's the solution because like no one gives a shit about the Pro Bowl, right? No one cares. Like we never even talk about the Pro Bowl.
Yes, true.
For the football. But the day before the Pro Bowl, they have all these competitions. Like they have the quarterback throwing competition, they have the quarterback wide receiver competition, they have they have little things that the players do. Just go in on that, right? Like you can still do the game if you want, just accept that the game is going to be a theatric nothingness, right? Because it's not like the DNs are trying their ass off in the Pro Bowl either. But then just do like bring back the Rising Stars Challenge. That was fun. Bring back it like an updated skills competition. Do like some mini version of a one-on-one maybe, but like I don't know, maybe do it like bring in fans or creators and they have to try to stop the player. You know what I'm saying? Like do something that's just different. That's not
out there is what Jack's
this
saying.
Shit. It's boring.
Like, I just want to clarify because I know when someone in the comments is going to be like, "Oh, they fucking have it." Jack, I think you mean the Shooting Stars, the thing that with instead of the Rising Stars.
Sorry, yeah, the Shooting Stars. Yes, obviously.
I knew what you meant, but someone's gonna be like, "What is he talking about? The Rising Stars are going to be part of this."
No, the Shooting Stars Challenge. Yes. Just do something different because what they're doing is clearly not working, and they keep doubling down on crap that doesn't work. Anyways, next thing. The Pistons have re-signed Paul Reed, clearing $14 million in cap, which, as I was listening to the Front Office Show podcast, effectively gives them enough room to take on some bad contracts at the deadline. Like it gives them more than a non-taxpayer MLE, which can now be used as a trade exception. So they have a lot of flexibility now that they waived Paul Reed and re-signed him.
This is a smart move, like you said, Jack. Like
Hold
they
up, it
have
was
the
pause.
ability.
Do it again. I had to unpause.
Oh, okay. Like you said, Jack, like they have the ability to bring in an extra salary slot. Now, whether they use that to take on a contract that is bad from another team or try and bring in another guy that can shoot the ball around Cade, which, to be honest with you, if they try to do that, I don't know how much sense it would really make, but it would help them schematically. Like it would make things a lot easier for them. You saw them play the Celtics last week. They could not make a three. They really struggled, but they have taken a step in the right direction by doing just that, putting guys that can shoot the ball on the floor, adding space. And it's why they have already won 11 games this year compared to winning, I think, just 17 last year. Like they were atrocious. So if they want to bring in more shooting, great. If they want to bring in a bad contract and give somebody some cap relief, also great.
Yeah, it just gives them more options to do more things at the deadline, which is a good thing. But last NBA thing, Damian Lillard signed a lifetime contract with Adidas. He becomes the, I believe, their fourth player, active player, I should say, to sign a lifetime contract. I think it's LeBron, KD, and Steph are the only others with lifetime contracts. I think I'm going to double check that fact. I know it's LeBron and I know it's Steph, but I don't remember. I think the third one that Shams mentioned was KD. Yeah, LeBron and Kevin Durant have lifetime contracts with Nike. Steph has a lifetime contract with Under Armour / Curry brand. And now Dame has a lifetime contract with Adidas. What'd you say? Does who count?
Does Mike count?
Active players. Sorry, active players. Active players. Yes.
Still pretty cool. Like, I guess
Very
the
cool.
Dames sell really well for them. I mean, Nimi plays in Dames. Kristaps will wear Dames sometimes. So I guess that probably is Adidas' most popular shoe, right?
It's got to be. Dames are nice.
I have two pairs. I have the incredible ones and I have the just plain old white ones. They're pretty comfy. They're a little heavy. They're low top, which I don't really love the low top shoes, but I guess somebody has to make Adidas some money because they really, I mean, they have him and Ant. That's like their two big guys. They have Harden too.
Oh, Ant.
And they got rid of Trae Young. They let Trae Young walk. So apparently the trays weren't selling that well. Cool for Dame. I wonder what kind of shoe. Oh, they have Donovan Mitchell too. They have a couple guys.
And Harden. They have the Hardens.
Right.
Hardens are huge. Yeah, they have Harden, Dame, Donovan Mitchell, Derrick Rose. Roses still sell well. And yeah.
I always like Nick Roses.
Nick Young too.
Nick Young.
Yeah, in case you're curious. Yeah, good for Dame. Very cool. I mean, he's obviously extremely, extremely popular, which is very dope. And yeah, shorter show, but just because there's not much content going on. But let's go to the Ratless. Sam, what do you got?
Ratless is Charlotte Hornets. I was going to put this in the NBA section. I figured it was more appropriate to put it here.
Please.
So I'm assuming you know what I'm about to say. So this week, the Hornets kind of went viral for the wrong reasons. At Monday's game, they had one of their in-arena contests during a timeout, and they had a 13-year-old fan on the court win a PS5. Once the cameras cut, apparently they told him to give the PS5 back in exchange for a jersey as a replacement. And that didn't go over well when people found out. The Hornets actually had to put out a statement. During Monday night's game, there was an on-court skit that missed the mark. The skit included a bad decision-making and poor communication. The Hornets said in the statement, simply put, we turned the ball over and we apologize. We have reached out to the family and are committed to not only making it right, but to exceeding expectations. So what I'm hearing is they're going to give him 2 PS5s, which is a pretty generous move from the Hornets, who, clearly aren't in the place to even give one PS5. The billion-dollar sports organization did not want to give a PS5
they're also giving him like in-game or a game day experience or something where he can be around the team, whatever.
He gets to wait for LaMelo to give him an autograph, and LaMelo ran over his foot.
Yeah, I don't think they meant to I don't think their plan was to ever actually screw the kid over. I think it was supposed to be a joke, and they just planned it poorly, didn't communicate it poorly, and all this thing because it was supposed to be a skit I don't know what the skit was, but apparently it was supposed to be some sort of joke.
They hit him with the super hot fire, psych.
Well, what I saw was like they
PS5 away.
told the uncle or whoever was with him, like, oh, he's not going to keep the PlayStation, but they didn't tell the kid. Like that's what I saw. I don't know. I don't know what even kind of joke they would think that was funny. I don't know what the whole like.
Are they
Doesn't make
trying to
any
say like
sense.
the jersey is better than getting a PS5? Like, was that the message behind the skit? Like, that doesn't make
I
any
have no
sense.
idea.
Like,
I have no idea.
I was joking, but like literally you're $1 billion sports organization. Like you can't give the PS5. Like even if like on camera you wanted to take it away from him, like you can't give him the PS5 off camera.
Yeah.
You can't afford a PS5. It's crazy.
Well, I think they can afford a PS5, but I don't think the problem was ever we can't afford to give this away. I think the problem was it was supposed to be some sort of joke, which I also don't understand. Like it doesn't
Comedy
make any
writers in the
sense.
Hornets organization are going straight to Rockefeller Center.
Yeah, so let me read this. This is from Jenna West of The Athletic. Queen City News spoke to the fan's uncle, Alexi Phillips, who took the boy to Monday's game. Phillips said a Hornet staffer approached them early in the game and asked if they'd like to participate in an on-court moment, but provided no additional details. Shortly before the boy stepped on the court, a staff member told Phillips that his nephew wouldn't get to keep his gift, but didn't explain what the gift was or inform the boy that it was only a skit. Phillips says he was confused, and after his nephew left the court with the PS5, a staff member came over and confiscated the console. The boy was confused and disappointed, and cheerleaders, dancers, and other team staff members standing nearby were also shocked that he could not keep the item. Hornets received heavy criticism for taking it from the fan, prompting the team to remedy the situation and return the console. So it sounds like it was just supposed to be some sort of skit or joke that something planned, and nobody knew. Like the cheerleaders didn't know like what was going on, the team, staff, like it was just like really, really dumb. So it just seems like
Can
a
you imagine being
ridiculously
like the arena host that has to tell him no? Because like
yeah.
like literally nobody else was in on it. Like you're even in front of like your coworkers, you're the asshole.
Yeah, what it just an unbelievable mess.
What you got, Jack?
Ratless driving in the rain, man. People, there's so many problems with it. One, I can't see, right? Because the headlights blend with the rain, and I ran over a curb today, like 3. Like I couldn't.
No!
Well, I can't see anything. I don't know where my lane starts. I don't know where the other lane ends. And so
Sure.
it's not like I am like it wasn't as bad as it sounds. I was just like I couldn't see where I was supposed to start, like whatever, right? But other people also decide, oh, it's raining. I forget how to drive. Like I don't know. What do I do here? Right. So we're either going way too slow, like cutting in front of people when there's not driving in not lanes, like just the side. It's a mess. And I didn't have a fun time driving home today from practice. Wasn't good.
I can't blame you. The lady just told me she was hydroplaning, and that is no fun.
She was what?
Hydroplaning. You don't know what that is?
No.
It's like when you're driving and you like can't control the car because there's water coming between the tires and the road, so
yeah.
you just kind of skid.
I didn't know what the word for it was, but yes, sure. I can relate.
Rat list is Christmas parties at work. I had a fun time at my Christmas party today, first and foremost. Apparently, people in my office yesterday stayed till like 8 p.m. to set this all up. And so at my job today, I had an early meeting. Brain was mush after the meeting. I had some writing I wanted to do. And I wanted to get my mind right before I started hitting the keys. So I go for a walk, and I happen to walk past the room where we're going to be doing this Christmas party. And I kind of like looking around, like whatever. And then they're like, "Oh, Sam, come in." So I go in, and they're like, "You're tall. Can you hang these things up?" And they're like big paper snowflakes from the ceiling. And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess. Like, sure." I clearly did not want to help. Like, not for nothing. Like, we're adults. Like, it really doesn't matter if there's paper snowflakes hanging from the ceiling. Okay. So I'm on this step ladder, and we have like like the ceiling tiles, like the ones that you can like push up, and they got the beams and stuff. So to hang these things, I got to put the wire underneath the tiles over the beam and put them back. I had no eye protection. I was just getting mad dust in my eyes at the top of this ladder, dude. I was rattled. And they had like 12 of these. They were like, "Yeah, can you like help us?" It's like take 15 minutes. They just have like an endless supply of these fucking snowflakes. They're massive. The strings were falling off of them. I'm up on the ladder. I'm dying with the dust. I cut my fingers on the tiles. I was so aggravated. They just kept giving me more of them. I only hung up like 6 before they let me go. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, that's ass. That's ass. We
Nothing
just
worse
decorated
than
our we just decorated our apartment for Christmas. It's very nice. The tree looks good. We put a little like
nice update.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm excited. We're doing a whole like a potluck on Saturday. Yeah. Very excited. We all bring one thing of food, like a potluck as you do. And then Sunday morning, me and the fellows are opening our Christmas presents for each other. Very excited.
Now, did you do a Secret Santa? Yes.
No. We just all got each other stuff.
So you got one for your 3 roommates.
And Danny.
Danny doesn't live there?
No.
Why did I think Danny lives there?
Because he's here a lot.
Friend. Oh, I see.
Yeah. and Mike and Ryan, my 2 roommates, were in Danny's frat in college. And then Brian is Ryan's friend from home. So that's how I know my roommates, through Danny.
I actually DM'd Danny today.
Really? Why?
Believe it or not.
Sam's internet cut out. I don't want to edit anymore. There's already so many edits in this podcast. Ratless Sam's internet. I'm just going to talk till he's back. Welcome back. Yep, go ahead.
I actually DM'd Danny today.
Yes.
Did you hear that part?
Yes.
Yeah, I had to send him a meme. I was actually going to send it to you and tell you to send it to Danny, but I was like, I have Danny on here. Like, I'll just send it to him. But I'll send it to you right now. Yeah, I'll send it to you right now because I think you're going to also get a kick out of this. The fact that I was going to send it to Danny.
Am I putting it up anywhere?
No,
or am I just...
You don't have to put it up. You can just laugh. You can enjoy it and laugh. I think you're going to laugh.
I could do that. Let me see. I don't know if I know this meme.
Very on brand for him. Very on brand.
Oh, I see. I didn't get it, but I understand. It took me a second. I was like, what is this? But yeah. All right. I'm hungry and tired, so let's do the advent calendar so I can eat food and go to sleep, or edit this and then go to sleep. What day is it? It's the 18th. Sam's frozen again. Merry Christmas. Let's see. 17 I didn't open. Did I open 16?
This advent calendar has become a disaster.
It's so bad. I did open 16. So 17 says, his eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. And today we have a little train, a little choo-choo train.
Chugga, 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 chugga,
and
chugga,
then
chugga, chugga.
18 is down here. And it says, I ripped it. Shit. This thing sucks.
Between me and the Wi-Fi and you opening the advent calendar.
Don't compare the two. Not even in the same realm.
Toughest battle.
Not even in the same
We're
realm.
in the Wi-Fi battle together.
His droll little mouth. I don't think we are.
Well, you feel the effects of it too, because it affects you negatively.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and his beard of his chin was white as the snow. And this is... Why is Santa 18? What a ridiculously...
18 banners. Santa knows which number is the most important. He knows where the Larry lies.
I dropped the chocolate. Anyways, that's it for us. Thank y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe. Leave a like, comment. Tell us what you thought of today's pod. I'm going to go as fast as I can because I don't want to disconnect. You can subscribe. Hit the bell. We're here every day. Full pods Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, game recaps morning after. Other videos in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. Spotify and Apple, we are there too. Pods and recaps are there. Follow us. They'll go right to your feed. If you leave a 5-star review, we'd appreciate that very, very much.
He froze. Woo! We appreciate that very, very much.
Just finish
it. Very, very much. Pre-game shows are on YouTube. You can watch us there 30 minutes before every single game. Leave us a review on Apple and Spotify. Like Sam said, subscribe on the YouTube. You can follow Sam on Twitter at Jackson. Me on Twitter at JacksonMoneyBA. Sam on Twitter, Sam on Friends NBA. Get me out of here. That's it for us.
Taco. Come on.
Taco's having some fun here.